Our Coach 2025 football season is here. Let's talk about the offseason because that's always the most important thing you talk about every year. How did your offseason go?
It went really well. In the spring, we talk about that club measurement, by big skill and skill. The spring test, that's our second combine of the year. They set a new mark at 29 on the varsity, 29 kids in the club, and then we just hit 34 on our third test that we do right before camp. So that part of it, I told them, at that stage of development and how we're evaluated, we're ready to go. Now we're in the middle of the next phase. Can we play together? Will we develop a personality? Who can we count on? Who can retain things? Who's going to react well when I'm not standing next to them and the lights go on? All that stuff we have to figure out now.
The offensive line. We talked about last year, a little bit of a mystery. This year, a little bit more stability there?
Yeah, so we have 3 guys coming back, which is a luxury compared to the last couple of years. And all those guys the last 2 years have developed really well because they had the base in the weight room and they have knee bend. If you have knee bend and you have the strength, and we can get the rest figured out. But Alex Seymour, Jake Brick, and Cole Langdon, who's going to be a sophomore. The other 2 are going to be seniors. They logged a ton of minutes and started last year. And then as we went through the summer, there were nights where we were rolling 9 and 10 offensive linemen with the first unit, which has not happened. So there's a lot of competition there. It's very positive. And I said earlier here before, when you ask and talk about our on-field evaluation of Dallas football, and all the other stuff about being good young men and doing well in school and all that, we are gauged at Dallas on field by chasing and winning district titles. And then we go after state championships. That's how we're gauged. And to do that and to have that long run, that possibility, we have to handle our camp, we have to handle our scrimmage in week 1. But the long-term goal is that to do that, you have to be able to roll offensive linemen and not give up drives. You hit those quarterfinals, you're playing all teams with one-way players, and you got to match it.
Sometimes you're going to run into teams that'll have more skill. You're hoping that weight room kind of is always an advantage for you, and it seems like what you've built with your program that should be an advantage. But nonetheless, you're going to run into teams that just have some really good players and are well coached. That'll be the case this year. 4A will be very competitive in District 2.
As always, I think it's the most competitive in the state, week in and week out, and, across the state as you go. There's 2 things, right? Speed, you're not getting them too much faster in high school. That's a joke, right? They either can run or they're not. And the strength component is, but the other part of this, at some point, Parcells used to say this all the time, size wins. So the strength thing and the numbers with strength, if you're a little bit on the smaller, that can compensate for it. Otherwise, you got to be a lot bigger. So we're hoping that we've got more numbers with that strength. And the speed guys, on the perimeter, this is as fast as we've ever been. And they're strong also relative to their positions.
You had a steady extra point, you had a steady field goal for years. You're a little bit spoiled, and it was a great luxury. You got to replace special teams, you got to replace a quarterback that's been around a while. Those 2 components, I'm sure, are always on your mind.
Yeah, and we always defer to special teams first. Rowan changed games, and we didn't get numb to that. He was just a difference maker, and he brought along a couple of more guys, Brandon Miller and David Worth. They're competing right now and doing a great job. But, they understand, and they saw his model, how he was in the weight room all year long with us, how he, handled his time between soccer and football, and then the calmness that he went about his business, and he was a tough-minded young man. So that, and that carried down to them. So that is our number 1 goal. Who is going to take that job? Is it a combination of the 2? And then the rest of our units have to help those guys as they get some minutes under the lights. You got to be able to cover punts and cover kicks. And then the quarterback thing, the guys are competing right now, and they're doing a great job. They're keeping it positive. Brady McCann, Jimmy Youngblood, Talon Geske, those guys are all competing, and they're going after it, and they're doing. And I said to them, listen, this building is going to go on how the 4 of us handle this situation. And they've been nothing but tremendous. And they're working with each other, they're getting after each other, and they're pushing each other. The part that I found unique with this group so far, as of last night, I told them, usually, these high school teams are senior laden. Sometimes you get a group with 2 classes. We got a chance here at 3. across that sophomore, junior, senior class. They're molding together pretty well, and they're competing, and they're working together, and they've raised this thing to another level. Now, can they sustain that? As of last night, we'll find out about tonight.
Coach, all the best in 2025.
Appreciate it. Thank you.